Hi, thanks for joining me today. Today I want to do a fun experiment and make elephant toothpaste. So what you'll need for this experiment is yeast, warm water, dish soap, and 6% hydrogen peroxide. Now the hydrogen peroxide you get from the pharmacy is at 3%, but you'll need at least 6% for this to work. I got this from Sally Beauty Supply. 6% hydrogen peroxide is used for dyeing hair. So you can also get it online from Amazon or any online store that sells hair care product for dyeing hair. So what we're going to start doing, we're going to start with the water. So you're going to add 3 tablespoons of warm water. And 1 tablespoon of yeast. You just want to stir it up a little bit. And if there's yeast in your tablespoon, you just want to get rid of that because you're going to use this for your dish soap and the yeast might cause a chemical reaction. So you just want to stir the water and yeast. And be careful with the temperature of your water. If you have it too cold, the yeast won't dissolve. And if you have it too hot, it will kill the yeast and it won't grow. Okay, so once that is mixed up, then you're going to set it aside. And in a water bottle or a pop bottle, I'm going to put a funnel in it and add 1/2 cup of hydrogen peroxide. And then to that, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of dish soap. And then you can add food coloring at this point. And just swirl it around a little bit so it's mixed. So your yeast is going to be frothy. And that's how you know that the temperature was correct with your water. So put your funnel back in. Now this part you have to do very quickly. And it's going to be messy, so have something on your table and like a tray or a plate. I put a garbage bag on the table just so that it wouldn't make a mess on the table. Okay, so you're going to do this very quickly, and then we'll talk about what happened after. Okay, now one thing about 6% hydrogen peroxide is that it is quite strong, so it might irritate your skin. So if you do this, you might want to wear gloves. So what happened is the hydrogen peroxide and the dish soap and the yeast all reacted together. So the yeast is a catalyst, which means that it causes the reaction to happen faster. Now, the chemical reaction breaks up the hydrogen in the hydrogen peroxide into oxygen and water. So what you have here in the bubbles is the bubbles are filled with oxygen, and there's also water in there. So it reacted so quickly because of the yeast that you have a lot of bubbles. And there's also, if you feel it, it's actually quite warm. And that happens because there was an exothermic reaction, which means that the chemical reaction created heat. So what we're going to do is we're going to just change it up a little bit, and I'm going to use double the yeast and see if anything changes. So now that we made the elephant toothpaste, I wanted to see if there would be any change if we change the formula. So I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of water and 2 tablespoons of yeast. Now, the 1 tablespoon of yeast was a little hard to stir, so hopefully this dissolves. It was quite thick before. Okay, so now that that is dissolving and growing, oh, it's actually quite thick. We're going to set that aside and prepare our hydrogen peroxide. So again, water bottle. And half a cup of hydrogen peroxide. And you want to clean your tablespoon if there's any yeast, because that is the catalyst that causes the reaction. So 1 tablespoon of dish soap. And some food coloring. And just mix that up. And funnel goes back in. Now this is a little thicker, so it may not go in well enough. I'm actually going to add a bit more water just so that it goes into the funnel a little easier. It was a little too thick. Okay. So maybe increase the tablespoon to 4 tablespoons of water to 2 tablespoons of yeast. It's not as thick that way. Okay, so let's put that in and see if we get the same reaction. That was a lot faster. And there's a lot more foam. So, yeah, so if you try this, let me know how it works. And let me know if you changed anything and how the reaction was and if there was any changes. Thanks for joining me.